But to the match at hand, Leftovers and Method about to face off, looking for that redemption. Fnatic is Leftovers continuing their streak from the Western Clash. Let's go ahead and check out with the players themselves and see who exactly is ready to get the win today in this matchup.
Yeah, so going from open division to actually being top 4 in EU to go to a Western Clash feels amazing. I've put a lot of work into this, so it feels really good that actually all this time and effort put into the game has paid off, and I'm really hyped and happy that me and my team got so far. So improving my game so much in this past few months is probably thanks to the hard work that me and my team put in with the scrims, and actually thanks to Mopsio and Black Kidney for actually giving me more game knowledge over these past few months. But overall, like, I think the meta just suits me now, so that's why I have improved so much and look so good on HGC stream.
I think we are pretty happy with the first weekend. Stuff that we worked on during the break definitely showed in game. I feel if we continue to improve the way we have been in the last 2 weeks, it will be really good for us. Yeah, Leftovers are definitely looking strong. They exceeded everybody's expectation at Western Clash, and they seem to be carrying that momentum into the second part of the HGC. Last time against them, it was a pretty close series, so we are preparing a lot for them, and hopefully we will be able to close it out this time.
One of the takeaways that I got from the Leftovers last week is that they were willing to experiment if they would like to. They can pull out the Zebos. We saw them pull out also the Asmodan. But last week, they also are willing to commit if they don't have to switch things up. They pulled out Hammer 3 out of the 4 games against the Monkeys, and were able to pull off 2 victories in those 3. Again, willing to stick to their old formation of we get a cookie cutter type of composition, we could build around it, and of course, get success.
I mean, I really don't know what to expect from the series. Leftovers have a lot of momentum. They are very emotional. They are a very likable team that just wants to work. They have the work ethic, and everything is absolutely there.
Yeah.
And they have shown that they have also the skill level. But then you have Fnatic, and Fnatic is a team of champions. I mean, they brought in Last Hope, they replaced Bad Benny, they replaced Quacknix. Shot calling at the beginning was rough for them. But they are now in a spot where, of course, they want to be back where they started. They want to go all the way up to the top of Europe. They're not happy at all. Not only that they didn't make it to the Western Clash, but also that they're currently in the middle of the pack. Fnatic is... They just think of themselves, and I think they are, a top team. And on an individual levels, the players are there. But can they mesh as that unit that is really able to take those games of the Leftovers, Team Liquid, Dignitas, which is the end goal? You want to go to BlizzCon. And if they want to go to BlizzCon, they have to show it here today. They need to take Leftovers down.
It's a really weird spot for them, too, because going to the Western Clash, they were literally 1 game away from being that team that would have gone to the Western Clash. They had so many series that went to the Game 5, and they just didn't fully pull through to get the victory. But again, you can't make up excuses. You got to get those wins, and now as we continue to get closer to BlizzCon, we need to see those wins. So with us getting ready for this first Battleground, I'm expecting Fnatic to come in with a level head and be on point. Leftovers, with the Battleground choice, are going to open up with BOE. In terms of bans, Dragonshire taken away, as well as Vizcaya Foundry.
Yeah, this is already setting very much the pace for the entire series here, because you look at this and the first thing that happened is Dragonshire gets taken away by Leftovers. That makes a lot of sense. Leftovers are 0-5 on the Battleground. They are really not strong here, so this is a map that they dislike. So it's getting banned out for that very reason, more so because they are weak there, not so because they perceive Fnatic to be incredibly strong on Dragonshire, even though Fnatic on Dragonshire has a positive track record. Then again, you have now Battlefield of Eternity taken as the first map also, and from their perspective it makes a lot of sense. Fnatic, not really too strong there in this phase. They're sitting at 1 win and 3 losses, whereas Leftovers are a bit stronger here. The whole idea, of course, being again, win the first map, ideally the second, but start off with a win and try and trigger Fnatic a bit. We know they're emotional players. They have been improving a lot. They have actually started to get into a much better mindset. Shrimpy has been talking about this a lot, that at times in scrims they just shift the drafting over to Mane, that he brought in new ideas, and it really helped Shrimpy, who's still the main drafter for the team, to approach the meta a little bit differently, to all of a sudden bring heroes in that he didn't consider to that extent. And we know that from a shot calling perspective, while Shrimpy still runs the main part of the show, Breeze has started to take over a lot of responsibilities too. So the entire team is now starting to mesh together a little bit more. We heard Last Hope talking about it. But right now, if they don't win these games and against Leftovers, no matter how strong Leftovers are at this point, they need to win. If they don't win that, then they fall completely into mediocrity, and that's something that they, from their mindset, cannot afford.
Yeah, I think Fnatic would love to come out here and have a strong showing, but I also want to, I actually do want to see them have a loss against Leftovers and see them bounce back too, because that was a huge contribution to why Leftovers won the last time these two faced off. In Game 1 and Game number 2, Fnatic came out the last time they faced off and completely shut down the Leftovers. Getting an easy win in Game 1, easy win in Game 2, and then going into Game number 3, we went to Volskaya Foundry, which is actually kind of funny because it's banned out today. A small misplay threw Fnatic through a loop, and Leftovers were able to capitalize, and through each game, Fnatic just fell further and further behind, seemed to not really be on the same page anymore, and they looked humiliated, honestly. So coming into this series, I'm really expecting them to at least show that even if they fall 1-2 maps here and there, they can bounce back and take on the likes of Leftovers.
And there's so many stories here too. Leftovers is of course the obvious Cinderella story, coming from the open division into HGC, continuously improving, going to the Western Clash. But you have also Fnatic with Last Hope, someone that was literally a player that was not, had no experience whatsoever in competitive Heroes of the Storm play or any other esports, comes from Grandmaster, gets a tryout in Fnatic when they were looking for another offlaner.
Yeah.
And Fnatic at that moment in time already had several candidates that had competitive experience, played with Last Hope, and all of a sudden realized, wait a second, this is actually working, that guy is good. So they take a huge risk, bring him in, and now all of a sudden he plays against people that he so far only watched on stream. He has been talking about how this had a huge impact on his own perception as well, and how he had at the beginning definitely needed a bit of an adjustment period where that was a bit overwhelming to him. So now he finds himself in this HGC setup, and of course he wants to succeed with his team, and we're going to find out if that synergy is now there to the point where he explained it.
I mean, I would argue to the point that he is actually Fnatic now. Like, I don't think of him as this weird hero that, or this weird player that's come in here and just kind of just fits with the rest of this main roster. Week 2, Week 3, he was already there. I can only think of one major mistake that he has had in the few weeks. Sure, there's always these little mistakes that are happening, there's team synergy and such, but he just does well on the top lane for this team, and he gets the job done. That's what you were looking for when they picked up Last Hope, someone that can be there. I mean, his Dahaka in particular is one that teams even ban out occasionally when it comes to drafting.
I feel like what he's known for right now is, first of all, a strong performance on Dahaka, where he has massive impacts whenever he starts to burrow into the team fight, rarely misses out on a Tong. Then on the negative side, of course, it's the Leoric performance against Dignitas that justified or not justified, because I really don't think that his Leoric is as bad as some people try to make it out to be. Yeah. But of course, it's stuck in your head if you are missing 4 of these important entombs. So that's something where at some point when he has to play Leoric again, he needs to have a performance where he just like breaks through that and says,
shuts
like, guys,
it down.
Like, I had a bad game. And he was, by the way, the first one to acknowledge that on Twitter immediately, saying like, okay, I screwed this up. I had a bad game here, and I take responsibility for that. But his Leoric is not that bad. Thankfully, though, not even in the meta at this point. He has shown other heroes now. We've seen him more on URL in the last few weeks. We've seen him also more on Blaze. But that's really what he is now known for. And I thought the Fnatic that came into the games after the Western Clash looked way stronger than before and way more as a cohesive unit. But again, it was against easier opponents. This is the real test. They have to show it here today. And if they can't do it against the Leftovers, then Fnatic is going to be maybe even a non-story for Phase 2 in 2018. Today is going to be important. How do you present yourself against the Leftovers, and what's going to be the result at the end of the day?
Let's get it started. Game 1, BOE. Maiev opened up as a ban for Fnatic. Leftovers will answer back with an Abathur being taken away. Should be seeing some tanks / top laners looked at soon. Ooh, actually, Fnatic, they take away Genji right away.
I mean, this is now a scenario where we can also expect very different drafting in terms of picks. With the map being BOE, there are still a couple of heroes that you want to get rid of. That's what we have the double bets for in the first place. You have Hanzo with all that race potential. Other heroes have been targeted a lot, but this is now where it really comes down to. How are we going to open this up? Are we going to see that special flavor come in from leftovers towards the later stage picks? But this is very likely to be a very team fight heavy composition. And Urel as a first pick. Diablo, Deckard Cain are open. Those are two big heroes, especially for Mopsio and for Linked. Absolute key heroes for the two players. Could definitely see that as a double pick, but it being the leftovers, I would not be surprised if they are going down a different path here.
They're going to the Phoenix. I was expecting actually Diablo Phoenix, but they pick up Kayn. They'll leave that tank up for later adjustments. With Hanzo and Genji being taken away, suddenly Garrosh still becomes an option for the leftovers, so they can move into that if Diablo is taken away from them.
I really get the feeling that, especially lately, Mopsio is oftentimes taking away a step back when it comes to the priority of the tanks.
Yeah.
Where he just gives others their heroes first. But we heard from Link himself how he feels he has improved a lot in the support role, and his Deckard is definitely the hero where he makes the biggest splash. Fnatic answers with the Li Ming and Muradin, so again, great comfort hero for Breeze here at the front. Good setup also. Two heroes that can dive in with Urel combined at the front line here. Li Ming for Mena, fantastic again for the reset potential. Try and snowball these fights a bit. Also great for the map for Poke.
There to help follow up any dive that comes in between Urel and Muradin. Leftovers answer back with a white main Bane as they take her away. She's been the quick follow-up for a lot of teams actually here. There's still Malfurion up and available, who has been one that's been going on the third or the fourth rotation. Although I wouldn't be too surprised to maybe even see a Karazim on this battleground with it being BOE. Helps out with Urel and Muradin going for that dive potential.
We've seen actually a fair amount of Karazim on Battlefield of Eternity compared to any other map, because you can really just put extra pressure onto the Immortal, and also if you isolate a high hit point tank, it's easy to get 7-sided strike value. Here's again the setup for a triple melee. Thrall and Blaze, with the main tank still missing. Seeing this a lot more regularly lately. And Fnatic now has two picks to prepare for that, but also their options on the top lane have been reduced a bit. We still have Malthael around, we have the Haka around. Sorry, Urel obviously already taken. My bad.
Ana! Wow. Ana and Sergeant Hammer to come out. Ana against multiple melees.
I'm hyped.
Can finish that level 1 Sleep Dart quest. Wow.
Again, I mean, this is something that I've seen them play it in practice. It's one of those things where it can... the synergy here is obvious. You have Li Ming there.
Yeah.
So you want to go for an Ana boost. You're looking for Li Ming getting insane value. You have also the front line that you can really stop with a Sleep Dart. There's definitely some value here. If you look over to what we're seeing for their opponent, there are heroes that can be a threat to Ana, but only if you get flanked. You should be with the setup that they have here in a position where Urel and Muradin can create the space for you so that you're not getting jumped on, because one of Ana's biggest weakness is simply that she doesn't have that escape ready. So if she gets approached, it's very tough for her to get out of that situation.
Yeah.
So in that spot, you need to be careful that if Thrall tries and flank you, that he doesn't get that engaged. And then it becomes a question after level 10, what's going to be the horribility here on the side of Thrall. You're looking at Thrall is combined with Phoenix, so the immediate go-to synergy would be Earthquake with Salvo. But then again, we've seen, especially on the Korean meta and the Eastern Clash, so many that have, even with that Phoenix Thrall synergy, opted in to go for Sundering instead, because they just perceive to be more valuable to come in from the flank, set up that first kill, and yeah, extra damage, yes or no, just simply go for a target, blow it up, and then take it from there in an advantageous situation through the numeric advantage.
I think it makes sense to go into the Sundering here with the flanks going in and trying to find Ana and maybe push her in. If you push Ana ever out of position, she can fall victim quickly. Now, obviously, it's going to be harder to do with Sergeant Hammer being sieged up and ready to go, but this has started out as a exciting series in game number 1. Ana being mixed in for Fnatic in game number 1. They've been experimenting here and there. A couple times not working out, but hey, I'm loving it.
And true melee, I'm ready for this.
Yep.
I want us to start. Let's head right into it. Battlefield of Eternity, map number 1 between the leftovers and Fnatic. And to the left side, Linked on Deckard Cain, Blakidney on Thrall. We're seeing Portibos on Blaze for the offlane. Mopsio, of course, finds himself on the main tank, this time Johanna for him, and DAB on Phoenix.
On the right side, Mena on Li Ming, Schwimpy on Sergeant Hammer, Smexy on Ana, Breeze on Muradin, and Last Hope play Urel.
So with Ana, as you would expect, the piercing darts taken as the level 1 talent, so the double rewards that you get from the quest talent. So first of all, it's the range increase that you have, and you can hit 2 heroes. That's coming online after you hit 10 heroes in total, and after you hit 20, you have the additional range increase there. So definitely getting a lot of value out of that.
The range just allows you to play much more safer, sit from behind.
And you should be able to really complete that quest pretty quickly when you're going up against a triple melee frontline. I mean, there's a lot of targets for you. Breeze is already helping out and making sure that no one can get close to Smexy. So it's all about positioning here. And of course, it's also very important that your team plays with you so that they realize when you're trying to heal them up here and don't dodge your heals. But especially with Shrimpy and Hammer, you can actually sustain through a lot if Ana is helping you out with those heals, especially, of course, with the unstoppable frames you get through your level 4.
I mean, look at the synergy right now. Breeze just drops in a Stormbolt, and Smexy immediately follows it up with a Sleeping Dart. He's up to 3 stacks right now. And finishing that quest is imperative when you're playing Ana. You feel empty when you don't have that quest finished up, or at least get the halfway mark set up at that 10 mark. So him finishing up 3 stacks already and building towards that 10 is instrumental. Smexy already in position here to go for another Sleep Dart. Bam! Nails it straight on top of Thrall.
Yeah, it's already sitting at 4, and if he can complete the close to the next objective, or the first objective, would be great. Here comes Last Hope, and Blaze is a bit late. Down goes Thrall, and Fnatic being aggressive here, but once again we're having Blaze joining the fight here with the jet propulsion. Breeze and Mane both move out. Mane looking for another combo here. Gets a few shots set in, but it looks like Leftovers might walk away with the camp.
Vulsion's about to be up again. They turn around, they put some damage on Last Hope, and he gets taken out, but Breeze jumps over the wall. The Sleep Dart over the corner too as well. Mobsteel is about to be reset on Mane. Wants these resets, but he's also low on health too, and he doesn't quite find it. Big brawl already, and we only have 2 people fall in total, 1 for 1 on each side.
And Leftovers get away with the camp, steal it away here, but they just got blown to pieces by those last few combos that we saw coming out of Fnatic, but they don't die.
Yeah.
Very cool and disengaged from Leftovers, making sure that they don't lose out on a single one here. So yeah, nice brawl, and both teams just showing aggression early on.
That's a moment where you're Mane and you're like, I wish I had level 7 right now with dominance.
Oh my
Calamity.
god.
That would have been a
Dude,
full wipe.
If he has, in that situation, Calamity, he just jumps through that fight and gets reset after reset. But yes, this is a situation where we're going to see a lot of fireworks if that continues. Now, talking fireworks, let's talk about quest stacks. 9 on Thrall, so that means that right now we are probably seeing him without the quest completion heading into the first objective, whereas Smexy is currently sitting on 6 stacks with his piercing dart, so it's 4 stacks away, 4 sleeping darts away from getting the first reward here.
Also hitting the extra hero in that range, which is where it feels great to have in your piercing with those multiple melees. I'm actually kind of curious to see how they're going to set up for this entire Immortal phase. They actually have Sergeant Hammer running towards the top, start pushing in with this camp, while the rest of the team is actually setting up a defense, but Leftovers identifying this. Immediately turn around and put some damage straight on top of this Immortal, and with Thrall leading the charge, they can chuck it down slightly. But Shrimpy, he's looking for turrets.
Yeah, Shrimpy is actually starting to push that lane at the top in very heavily and aggressively. Smexy is also now on 8 stacks, so again, we're going to keep a close eye on those quest talents since they're going to be very important here. They're all sitting on 17, and for that first Immortal, those are crucial. Smexy here again, getting a few shots in. I mean, the extra damage that, of course, stacks up also very important, but mainly Shrimpy is currently benefiting from those heals.
Yep, getting healed on up. Breeze playing it safe too with that 3rd win. We saw it in the last series as well. Being able to allow for Ana just to focus on Sergeant Hammer and Li Ming if she has to save them. Yorel should be able to self-sustain herself. The constant rotation between the two, it's mostly about playing around Hammer here. Leftovers knowing this, they had to play against a Hammer composition against Team Freedom at the Western Clash. They try to find wherever she is and then move based on that.
10 stacks completed for Smexy, so it's halfway done. Here's Kidney with that attempt to go for the backline as we expected earlier. Sleeping Dart comes in. Kidney is about to go down. That's the kill against Thrall right there as Fnatic takes the War Chief on.
War Chief is down. Also, the grenade came out too to make sure no heals could connect with him, so he couldn't even pop his Frost Whoop there to heal himself. Sergeant Hammer gets locked down, but able to cleanse it herself. But Portybus, he wants to change this around. He goes in for a big jet propulsion. Smexy's locked down, trying to kite away, and there goes Grandma.
Really nice move that we saw, but DAB is in trouble, and he falls too. It's a trade. Ana goes down, but so does Phoenix. And again, we're seeing Fnatic moving in. Shrimpy, though, has to retreat and has to top off at the well. The halftime show is won. Fnatic takes it for now, but only barely.
Only barely, about 4K health. We're going to start setting up for their Immortal phase. Offensively is going to be the spawns. Leftovers trying to end that race quicker, but with the lead already popping in for Fnatic, they'll be able to walk away with the first Immortal of the game and right before level 7.
And level 7 is going to be the important one. I mean, we talked about it early on already as we had that big brawl happening at the bot lane, but this is where Calamity now comes into play for Mane. Super important talent. Also, for Ana, we have now the mind-numbing agent taken, so the spell power reduction that we see here is going to be very important, especially against Phoenix, if it can be used. Overdose as the talent level 4, haven't really mentioned that, but it's more or less the standard that we're seeing when Ana is being played. By the way, sitting on 11 stacks at this point. It's really working towards that second quest tier. Hitting another one straight into the stun, and there's the follow-up immediately. Kill opportunity created as Smexy sets it up for Murden.
Oh, great layup there by Ana. Smexy dropping down the stun, or the root, straight on top of DAB. He gets knocked by the Immortal into the corner, and then of course you have Breeze jumping straight on in to secure the kill, and they will delete him. That's going to be a full force for Fnatic. And they're about to hit level 9.
Yeah, they're doing well here. Entire level lead early on to the level 10. That's what they're trying to achieve here. That was well done for sure. Good setup, and it just adds to the CC chains that we've seen so far from them. So we're going to keep an eye out of how successful Smexy is with these setups. Because let's not forget, Ana is currently doing work for Fnatic, but it can also be a liability, as we saw in the last fight, if that flank happens, if nobody anchors that flank.
Has he missed a sleep yet? Every time I hear that, the little dart sound, someone's passing out.
Yeah, talking about passing out, Polyboss might pass out if he's not careful here. He needs to be really cautious. Already a bit of space created by Shrimpy on the tank, pushing them back here. And they are going for the top, but Thrall is now flanking in, and that's where Ana needs to be cautious. Thrall, Kidney looking for that setup. Stormbolt is missing, but the sleep dot is there, and Mane says thank you very much. Great setup, and gets the combo through.
If he had the Calamity there, may have been able to get the kill, but he had to teleport away, thanks to the pressure coming in from Leftovers. A fight over the camp in the top. Last Hope trying to hold it down here with the Avenging Wrath. Actually misses out on the spacing, though, and Leftovers will steal it away.
Breeze goes in deep, but he misses the Stormbolt. This seems like a very bad spot for Leftovers to fight, though, with Hammer, but they're still trying to funnel into it, and they actually make it happen. They force their way through and are taking the camp again.
One of the things that's been instrumental is Momsio. Dropping down the flashlight there, making sure to hit that glaring light on Shwimpy. He just can't get the full damage out completely, so it's Li Ming having to shell away.
Now, one of the things that I have to definitely point out here is how much free time and space Mane currently has. Because Mane is sitting in a situation where a lot of the attention is focused on, first of all, the frontline heroes, but more so Sergeant Hammer. And that allows Mane to follow up Stormbolts and also Sleep Darts with combos on his Li Ming the entire time. He gets really good damage out here. Again, there's the sleep, immediately Mane with a combo, and massive damage onto Phoenix, forcing DAB back. Mane is absolutely capitalizing on the freedom that he has now, which is created by his teammates.
If they had more damage there, that would have been a kill. Mane was able to use that wave of force to stop Phoenix from warping away from the fight, interrupted it. That'll be a combo that you'll see pretty often here. Johanna by herself in the top lane gets hit by a Stormbolt. Smexy bringing in the damage as well. Mane comes in with the Nano Boost, and there's the reset. It's going to be a kill straight on top of Johanna.
Nano Boost, of course, also available now, was actually used already, and we're having Ana with 18 stacks, so 2 away from getting the full quest completion here. And the halftime show has significantly been won by Fnatic, taking that completely and focusing straight for a massive Immortal, as we see Leftovers attempting to go for the flank against Smexy. There's the Earthquake, they're starting to move in. The salvo comes through, Smexy barely surviving, trying to keep his teammates alive too. And the BFG comes out. Keep in mind, that was a 4 versus 5 because Johanna's just now coming back.
Still shows that if you find that flank on top of Smexy, Ana will crumble to that pressure. She went down to less than a quarter health. And again, that was just a 4v5. But at the same time, Fnatic almost enters back. DAB barely got away with his life there. But he heals up, and this buys time for Leftovers to at least slow down the gap that has been popped in here for Fnatic when it comes to Immortal Race.
2 quests are going to be completed in a few seconds. Stormbolt quest for Murden, 1 away. Big for him in teamfights. And Ana sitting on 19 stacks too. Those 2 are going to be power spikes. Leftovers. With Lornado, still have another tool now available that they can use to maybe create an opportunity against Sergeant Hammer, or ideally against Ana, of course, since Shrimpy still has level 4, but has used it already. Lornado comes in. Doesn't get quite as much, though, as Leftovers were hoping for.
Still, a cooldown that can come up pretty quickly. They'll be back in about 30 seconds, but that does give a window for Fnatic to step up. And you see Shrimpy inching forward thanks to that hover siege, attempting to get some damage on some Immortal. So the Leftovers fight on the top right. Put some damage on top of Breeze, try to make him back up so they can maybe find an opening.
And Smexy just shelling away with the heals here. Currently sitting at 29,000 compared to Deckard Kane's 34. Still keeping up here and completes his quest 10 minutes in. Immediately, Stormbolt follow-up, BFG, Big Kidney down again. The follow-ups here with the CC that comes out of Fnatic are fantastic from Shrimpy and from Mena. Both of them going in, trying to get the kill. Defensive Lornado is pushing them back, but Fnatic is looking for the objective now.
And they're going to be able to get it. Schwimby steps up, gets the auto text in with the help of Last Hope, and there it is. Massive Immortal coming out for Fnatic, the second one of the game. And you gotta love the coordination between Lee Ming and Sergeant Hammer and the Nana Boost popping out there. The combo was picked on one target, it was gonna be Blood Kidney, and everything was fired away to dispatch of him.
And think about what you just said. Praising the coordination of Fnatic with them stacking all of these abilities, having the CC set up through a Stormbolt, through a Nana Boost, through whatever you name it, and then the follow-up that is immediately there. That's something we've been missing when the phase started. There is definite improvement to be seen here on Fnatic's side when it comes to that team coordination that we've been highlighting multiple times now, and this is what we currently have in this game. Only game number 1 though, and Leftovers are still fighting back. They know what's up right now. They know exactly how tough this is going to be, but they have the tools. They've seen it before. If Mopsio finds the Blessed Shield, if he can go in, allow Thrall to close the distance and drop an Earthquake, that's going to be tough for Fnatic to deal with.
Leftovers are no strangers to flanking behind on Immortal, and they're starting to set up one now. They have
Thrall
in with the Earthquake. Here he comes in from behind. Bam, there it is. Big combo straight on top of Ana. Spexy trying to buy some time by working those auto attacks, but he gets locked down and blown up. There's a bunker, but Link, he can't get to it, so Mana's gonna get a reset.
It's a trade, but Breeze is also low, and that's the double kill here as Leftovers are diving in deep and getting those kills. Last Hope, on the other hand, needs to be careful. Pops his 10. Can he get a kill, though? That's the main question, and indeed he does. Phoenix is obliterated by Urel, and Last Hope moving out. Great move by him.
The Immortal is defended. The keep goes down at half health, so that's going to hurt for Leftovers, but at least they stop the Immortal from pushing in, and they have catapult pressure coming their way.
I mean, this coordination from Leftovers came at the perfect time, just as we talked about it. You could really see it there. The Earthquake comes in as Thrall flanks, then the immediate follow-up with the Blessed Shield, and they're going for Ana. There's just no saving her. That's the big problem that we are having on the side of Fnatic with that one hero. They need to somehow keep her safe, and it's not easy. I'm still wondering for myself if I would have preferred to see them go into Sundering here. A Sundering into a Blessed Shield could make those kills against Ana even easier for them, but even the Earthquake is working out and of course gives the extra synergy with Phoenix that you want.
Yeah, the Earthquake, the benefit there is at least you get the slow if you can't pop Ana right away, so she can't fully run. I am kind of curious if Link had been able to jump into the bunker there, would he have been able to survive that, prevent the resets in from Mane? Urel still delivered when it came to those kills. That bunker just a pixel off.
I mean, it's 8 kills against 4, and Fnatic is a level ahead, but by no means have they won this game yet.
No.
The keep at the top lane is down to half health, but it's still there, which is the important part. No catapults for Fnatic.
Lane's being pushed out for both of our teams, trying to get the best advantage in the tug-of-war of lane pressure. Fnatic with a level experience lead will be moving towards that 16, but nothing that Leftovers cannot manage now. They're only a little bit behind here, and they have a couple of levels before that 16 connects, so they can step up within the Immortal and play a slow defense game if they need to.
Smelling Salts taken for Ana on level 13, so removing stuns and also granting the extra armor for 2 seconds. It's a pretty cool tool against all the CC that we have from Leftovers. The only problem, of course, being that Smexy these days finds himself to be the target of most of those engages. But with the quest completed on level 1, he has now that extra distance that he really needs to keep himself alive. But it's all about playing for vision right now. Leftovers, they need to find an angle towards Ana, because if they don't take down Smexy, it's going to be difficult to take down anyone else.
Mopsio steps up, uses the Iron Skin to bully out Breeze. Breeze backs up full on health though, so he comes back in as they set up for defense in the Immortal. Now there is a camp in the top left pushing towards the keep, so Leftovers will have to peel back and defend that. They send Thrall over, and they look to defend as 4. But the moment that happens, Urel rotates over. Fnatic is looking to find someone to weaken.
Sleep Dart was there, but this time not enough of follow-up. Thrall is visible at the top lane, so they know that Smexy is safe right now. They know that there's no flank happening. As long as they have vision, it's all good for Fnatic. But Leftovers, they are holding onto that Immortal, and Thrall is starting to make his way back into the fight, and he's going to look for it. Here comes the action against Phoenix, though. DAB in trouble. Nice stun setup to try and keep him alive. The bunker comes down, and Phoenix actually survives, at least for now. But we're seeing them focusing him down. After all, as the bunker expires, down goes Phoenix. They're looking for another kill against Boss. Smexy surviving for now and just keeping everyone healthy and topped up as they're trying to make the play for the Immortal again.
And with the timing there, popping down the orb straight into the missiles as well. Right when it expired, it collided with, of course, the bunker, and then the remaining hit straight onto DAB, and then Sergeant Hammer was able to deliver the final blow. DAB falling means Fnatic moves closer to level 16, and they keep winning the Immortal race. And this will be the third one of the game if they can take it.
Yeah, Smexy again needs to be very careful here. A lot of vision created by Breeze and Last Hope. Here comes the aggression again as they're trying to go for Urel. Ardent Defender has been popped earlier, so that's on cooldown. Can't rely on that. 16 also so close for Fnatic now as they decide to move back for now, reset at the fountain, top off, and that creates an opportunity for Leftovers to move in and push some damage onto the objective.
Might be an opportunity for them to find Sergeant Hammer. Busted Shield comes out, but he's able to thrust away thanks to the boosters, so Fnatic gets all 5 here, and they have 16 now. So they step up, want to place in defense, so he can put a little bit of damage on their Immortal, but they don't mind sneaking their way in.
Yeah, this is the moment where you want the Immortal, but ideally you also want the kill with that advantage that you have here. Sharpshooter taken for Ana, so the extra healing increase up to 50%, which is of course pretty fantastic here, but you have to make sure that you keep hitting those targets.
Yeah, you need to hit 10 consecutive to get that 50% bonus. It's 5% per a connection, but one that if you are able to land consistently, you will feel the effects of.
Yeah.
It drops down the Earthquake.
Lee Kidney, yeah, and he was actually getting low there as everyone started to focus on him, but here comes the salvo. Last Hope again being healed. Here comes the Lornado. Schwimpy's in trouble. He's trying to get away, gets actually healed by Smexy. Smexy somehow keeps him alive, sends the BFG their way, and that's the end of Phoenix, of Deckard Cain. The double kill as Fnatic goes for 12. Down goes Blaze. It's a triple. Fnatic with a quad kill as they just obliterate Thrall and crush the hopes and dreams of Leftovers to win a fight in this game.
Fnatic just knows how to weather the storm of the bunker coming out, and the moment the bunker is about to expire, they find a target. Again, this time, DAB. He was unable to move towards that bunker. The rest of his team was in that area. He had to teleport up to the top corner. And that moment, Urel and Murden, with their ability to jump into a team fight, found him on the receiving end, dropped the Stormbolt, got the kill, and from there, Mane just got the resets, and the rest of the team cleaned up.
And also, again, this is the map choice of Leftovers. It's statistically speaking one of their better maps for sure, if not one of the best. 4 wins and 2 losses. They're very comfortable on this battleground, and Fnatic is just not having any of it. They're going on to just shut them down in their bot lane here. 2-level lead for them, and Fnatic, they want the keep, and if they can get the kill, they can go for the core.
13-4 in kills. Leftovers desperately trying
Kill,
to
DB.
He gets out. He's low on health, but he gets away. Jet Propulsion comes out, hits top on Breeze. If the Immortal is still healthy, keeps moving towards that keep. Last Hope is keeping his pressure on top of DAB in the back left. Here's a BFG2.
And Last Hope is just playing bunny right now, jumping onto DAB whenever he can. Phoenix down, and so is Johanna. This might be game as the keep is already down, and now the Immortal is walking towards the core here. Once again, they go for Blakidney, and Thrall is eliminated. Hashtag not my war chief, as we see Link explode as well, and Boss is getting chased. Fnatic with 17 kills, 2-4 is going for the core, trying to finish off game number 1.
There it is. Fnatic goes up 1-0 over the Leftovers.